So mine's already open, so I'll just fake it.
You can do it with the mouth?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Wait, what was that?
I'm not really good at like rolling my R's or like anything like that, but that was the first time I ever really caught it and like kind of like rolled my tongue for the first time.
That was your first ever rolling of
So
the tongue?
I kind of got stuck on it, and I didn't want to let it go. Yeah. So now, watch. Now I can't do it again. Ready?
That literally sounds like you're just messing it up on purpose.
That's it. That's for real. That's me trying.
You're back.
I'm back. I'm so happy to be back.
You're back.
I'm so happy to be back. It's only been one episode that I've been gone, but it does feel like it's been longer because 2 weeks versus 1 week away from the studio feels like a really long time.
I want to hear about the baby. I want to hear about how we did on the last episode because we tried our best.
Sure.
But first, should we introduce these beers?
Let's do it. Go ahead.
So I am drinking from Alternate Ending, Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Pop. This is a part of their single hop double IPA series. This one is featuring the Mosaic hop. Great hop. Mm-hmm. You know, like I love Mosaic.
Cashmere is your favorite, though.
I think.
No, that's not right.
I like the Nelson Sauvin. There's just so many good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. This beer is made for me. Who do we got though? That's Andre the Giant.
Yep.
From Princess Bride and feeling stupid.
Turn it a little bit on, love.
You got it.
I almost tipped it over.
Read the text. The text might help you.
Oh my god. Start staking. Wishes to.
We have to start researching these before the episode starts. Anyway, this thing is 8% alcohol. It's from Alternate Ending, like I said, up in Aberdeen, New Jersey.
Is this like Karate Kid? I think it's Karate Kid.
Hey.
But I don't know which character.
Well, it says John Baskin morphs into Fezzik when Zoltar starts taking wishes to literally. Zoltar is from Power Rangers? Anyway, this is great. This is a perfect beer for me. It's a little bit above my, Johnny Sweet Spot range.
Yeah.
But I'm going to deal with it.
Cool.
It's fine.
That just made me think of, when you said Zoltar, it made me think, and this is terrible because it's not like considered a good movie probably by most people's judgment, but
Dude, Where's My Car?
Yep. Zoltan. That's all I thought of when you said that. That's all that came to mind.
Oh, the Zoltan.
Yeah.
That's is that Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Because they sneak into
that's funny.
They sneak into the cult that like they think some like alien race is going to come and take them, and every time something happens, they're like Zoltan.
That's like how they blend in, right? Like
yeah. But they don't know how to do it every time. So
was that a good movie?
I love it. It's like.
Did you watch it again?
A dumb movie, but I love it.
Princess Bride is right there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Should have known better. Cool. Well, there's my label. I have a beer by Mast Landing Brewing Company, which let me see if they say where they're based.
5.5% alcohol.
I don't see where they're based. Oh, Maine.
Okay.
Cool. So this is called Gunner's Daughter Milk Stout, 5.5 ABV. It's actually really good. Not that I didn't expect it to be, but the reason I bought it was because I thought they were being clever with their branding. When I read this, I thought it said Guinness's daughter. And that's just my own bad reading skills, but I do love milk stouts, and I like this label a lot. And I hadn't heard of it before, so that's sort of like what brought me to this deciation. And
when you opened it, we were saying that it kind of looks like a source label with a kind of generative background. It's fun.
It's kind of far away, but I think you can see it. Yeah, I really love it. I really like the taste. So let me describe it a little bit, because this is actually probably why I like it so much. Bold flavors of peanut butter, coffee, and dark chocolate. So it's a lot like DuClaw, Sweet Baby Jesus. It has the same ingredients. It has the same sort of like taste to it. So I'm a big fan.
Is Josh Baskin the kid from Big? Nice. Okay. Phew. My mom's going to be so mad. This is her favorite movie. So it's Fezzik and the kid / grown up from Big. Tom
But why
Hanks.
does he look like he's wearing like a Karate Kid? Like he looks like he's wearing a uniform that you'd see in Karate Kid.
I don't know. I don't know.
Unless I just can't see it because it's a little too small.
And then Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Bop, I think, is a reference to Big also.
Is that where they're dancing on the piano?
I mean, I think we've talked about this a little bit, like the Forrest Gump thing. Like they're really pretty deep cuts into like things about movies that most people don't know.
Yeah.
Like the Forrest Gump one, what was it? It was that what if... Oh, the Titanic one, for example, was what if like the bad person... Oh, Rose could have let him on the door.
Well, that's just
Right.
everybody knows that.
Yeah. Well, does everybody know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen the study? There was a study where somebody took... Was it Mythbusters?
Is it a study or is it an episode of Mythbusters?
It's probably both. They made like a reproduction to scale, and they wanted to see if
Nice.
they're surviving.
They hate each other, these two guys.
What?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, no, they hate each other in real life.
How do you
got
know that?
Adam Savage, and I think his name's Jamie something. Jamie Hannemeyer? Something like that. They hate each other.
What?
Yeah, they won't talk.
Why?
Well, one of them, I think, is like has a background in like making stuff and effects shops, and that's Adam Savage, and the other
Yeah.
one, I think, doesn't. They just have different personalities. They don't get along, which is such a shame because they seem like they should be best friends.
Yeah, it seems like they were really good friends like for a long time on the show, and if that's changed, I'm shocked to hear it. And I'm pretty sad to hear it. Cool. Well, let's.
So tell us about this baby.
Okay.
What's the deal?
I was gonna like try and go in a totally different direction, but I'll do that. Yeah, no, baby's good. Her name's Juliet. I heard you guys guessing in the last episode.
Yep, we tried.
What did I think Abby said like Karina?
Something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like-
that was a good movie.
I never saw it.
Karina.
Oh, Karina, yeah.
Karina.
Yeah.
They did a dance.
Wait, is that the one with Goodfellas? What's his name?
Ray Liotta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't even need to look it up. He knows every movie. So
I know,
we just
I
say
know.
say an actor. He's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray Liotta is like the guy. And you got the cute little girl. And then
She's from Waterworld.
oh
I
yeah.
think. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Well, anyway, maybe that's relevant to the baby. She's great. She's like awake during the day, doing what she's supposed to be doing during the day, and I take on the night shift, and so she sleeps all night except for to be fed, and otherwise, like she's been pretty good.
Have you given her any tasks yet? Maybe start her with something simple.
Yes, we're working
the
on having
counter?
her lift her head off the ground.
Oh, okay.
So that she doesn't smother herself in her sleep when she's old enough to sleep on her own.
Important.
Yeah, and then her neck is going to be strong enough to like turn her head. There's
My parents did that when I was little. And I feel like they went a little too far. My neck's
you
like,
get super strong
like a
neck.
beast neck. Yeah. Oh, too much. So
Well,
be
that's-
careful with it. Don't go too far.
You're never gonna fall asleep on your face and not be able to move out of it though. That's a really good place to be.
It's weird having a second child, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we had Carmela, which was our first, they come in when you're in the hospital and they're like, do you want us to take the baby and like wash the baby and like change the baby's diaper? And
Yep.
the first time that when we had Carmela, even though Kate had just had a C-section, we were like, no, this baby needs to stay with us. We need to hold the baby.
Mistake.
Every baby after that, it's like, yeah, get this baby out of here
Uh-huh.
right now. Just take this baby.
How hard did they fight you to say like you should let us take her?
They wanted to
Mm-hmm.
take her pretty bad, and we'd be like, you could take her for 10 minutes, and John's gonna follow you to make sure that you don't swap her out with
So you
another
allowed to
baby.
bring a gun into the hospital, or like a baseball bat with like spikes in it, just something to protect her.
Just something to
Just in
protect her,
case.
just in case you try
A
to like
sword?
swap her out.
Can you have a sword?
I think that babies probably get swapped out, right?
I feel like we'd hear more about that.
They try really hard with like the bands and everything, and that makes me think that back in the day, babies got swapped out all the
Sure,
time.
yeah, back in those
Yeah.
days, sure. Yeah,
Because without that band, how do you identify a baby?
just like a regular like handwritten band, and you just have to be good at reading, and like
They don't stay on either because babies are pretty squiggly.
That's true. Ours, the for Juliet's, hers ended up in her like box that she was in, not the one that they scanned, but the one that's like written. And they just like left it in the box, like at the head of the box. I was like, is this how it used to work? Because like I took her out a couple times, and that came with it. I was like, this ended up on the floor a lot.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine like
baby can get lost easily.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Let's face it, they all look pretty much the same.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
And then only until they're like 10 or older, you're like, well, with your kids, it's pretty easy to tell, but I guess with mine too so far. But
you're gonna be able to tell before 10.
Yeah, well,
I think.
Who knows? I mean, if it's the wrong kid for a long time, you're gonna be like, I can kind of see it. You're gonna like convince yourself for 10 years until you're finally like, I don't think this is my kid. And then who knows?
I'm gonna go back to the hospital.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if he's still there. I'm gonna see if they kept him in the back. He's probably sitting there. They give him a juice box. He's fine.
When I was growing up, my brothers' names are. Did I talk about this on the podcast? Yeah, I'm
Last
Juicy
week.
Juice, right?
Yeah.
Good. Sorry, Juice Goose.
Yeah. Nope. I was gonna correct you.
Yeah.
I watched the last episode.
It's funny you're not calling me that right now.
It's because we've got a better name for you.
You have a better name for me?
Johnny Sweet Spot.
Ah.
Juice Goose would make sense if you
I never
were.
got a nickname. I got like JC.
If you were into like,
Pretty good.
If you were into like hazy IPAs or like whatever like the juicy labels are, then I'd call you the Juice Goose. But that doesn't really apply to you because you like hop forward, double dry hop. Like
I don't really like juicy.
No, so that doesn't make sense anymore for you. You've grown out of it.
People call me JC, and that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it may be like part of the reason my name is what it is. Like my mom, actually, the reason my middle name is Ryan is because my mom wanted people to call me JR.
Oh, okay.
Or Junior.
Yeah.
But every time that I say JC for a little too long, someone catches on to the fact that JC is Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So they start calling me like Jesus or Christ.
And you're trying to be.
And I'm like, boom, shut that down like immediately. That's
because you don't want that.
I don't need to be called Jesus.
If you were JC and then you had a last initial, so like JC Shazez.
What?
What's his name? How do you say the guy from NSYNC? JC Chavez? Oh, Shazez. JC. How would you say that? That's not even
Phaser.
What is that even doing? It's like, here's 3 characters that you've never seen before. Read those, and then you'll know how to pronounce it.
If the phonetic language is so good, why have we not switched over?
Good question.
Let's just write everything in phonetic language.
Yeah.
It's JC Phaser.
That's what it looks like. Anyway, so that's like that. Oh, wait, why is... That's not even... It doesn't even make sense. JC, he'd be JS. What the hell?
Oh, no, his last name is... Shazay.
So you could have been JC Corpezi, and you could have used the C twice in your name.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right. So like the people that I've known that were JC, it was like John, Chris Corpezi. So it'd be like JC Corpezi would make sense. But if you don't have that middle name, apparently it doesn't matter because this guy just took it from his last name and still works.
My grandfather on my mother's side. So not the name I got, the other name.
Mm-hmm.
His last name's Cush.
It's a cool name.
And I thought for a bit, like, do I just swap up? Do I just be John Cush?
And then what do you have to be like a drug dealer for the rest of your life?
You don't get to be John Cush.
Or like a rapper?
You have to be Johnny Cush.
Yeah. But it's
not an option.
Which lane are you in then? Are you in like the drug dealer lane? Are you in like the DJ who works like nightclubs lane? Or are you in like the go big rapper name?
I'm in Nicky Saturday or whatever. I'm in that lane where I'm just like, cool.
That's pretty big though. That's like big time.
Yeah,
people know your name.
I'm big time.
That's a name that you hear and you're like,
there's
I know
like
who you are.
there are the early days of being somebody like that where you kind of walk up to them and you're like, yo, name's Johnny Cush, and they kind of go like, what
Idiot.
the hell is this?
I don't want to be.
But then eventually you reach the point where they're like, all right, whatever, it's Johnny Cush.
Yeah, but then it's like you find enough people to think that that's cool, and then like when you reach the big time, you're like, yeah, I'm Johnny Cush.
The first time someone else introduces you to a third party, and they say, "Here's Johnny Cush."
Yeah. And they're like, when's his album dropping? They're like,
It's not. There is no album.
It's not how.
He's just a lead coder.
He went a different way. He went the Mickey Saturday way.
He went big time weird name, but he doesn't sell drugs.
Yeah, he could. He'd probably be pretty good at it, but he doesn't. So one thing I wanted to say was your point about like second kid, or like I don't remember what you said exactly, but like second kid, there's something really interesting that's happening. Like there's almost no stress. Like the little things that we stressed out about with Asher, which is our first, things like what's that noise that he just made? And then you like hover for 5 minutes. And you're like, is he choking? Is he dying? Like, no, he's not. He's just a baby and they make noises. The one thing that
Every time my baby coughs, I'm just like,
well,
is
yeah,
that
like,
the last breath you'll ever take?
there is like that instinct that I think is built into everybody, but like it's a little bit easier to quickly get past it.
Yeah.
The one thing that I've noticed is happening is like we're not like Googling things as often, but when we do, it's like you're doing it wrong. And no matter what you look up, it's like, oh, you fed them 25 ounces. They should only get like 22 to 24 a day. Your baby's going to become a serial killer.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
We're coming to pick your baby up right now.
Yeah. And so the decision I've made is that if you're going to have kids and look up answers on Google, you're never going to find the right answer. So they should all just be like, don't have kids. No more kids. Stop having kids. Because you cannot do anything right. According to the internet. Like, that's never going to be possible.
How did we make it?
Like, our generation?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. A lot of luck.
Because there was no internet. There's nothing you can Google. There's maybe that book.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Chicken soup for a baby's mouth or whatever.
That's not a book. Chicken
The one that teaches you how to have a baby. Oh, what to expect when you got it the first time.
Yeah, what are you talking about? The one you're talking about is for, like, how to, like...
how to be a teenager.
Yeah, like how to live, like, a normal teenage life.
Did you ever read that?
No.
Because you had a angsty phase.
Yeah, but
you often describe.
Yeah, part of that was not reading. I never read.
It was like sitting in your room listening to music.
Yeah,
smoking.
I would like cut out like letters and be like, I hate my life. I never got as far as like
Mom.
Yeah, even though I had like
newspaper clippings.
Even though I had like a really great life and I lived in like a very wealthy suburban, I kind of had like all the things I wanted. And, yeah, it doesn't matter. That angst is going to find its way past everything else, and it did.
Its way. Yeah,
it sure did. So
I
yeah,
had some angst. I didn't have like. Still, when I watch TV shows that have like some kind of a teenager being how a teenager really is, I don't think I ever went through that phase.
No, where they're like,
I had something better and different. Yeah, which is I got super regular, very intense nosebleeds. So that kind of like
cool. Yeah,
one time I had a nosebleed. I was the president of student government and I was on a parade float and we were passing like the final grandstand
check.
And I had a nosebleed, so I was like, oh no, the whole town's gonna see me have the nosebleed. So I ran to the back of the float.
Yeah,
tried to get off the float while it was still moving and fell off the back of the float.
Yes.
And then I ran into the woods.
Why did I not know you sooner?
And my mom like came and found me. And even then I wasn't like, I hate my life. I was just like, man, if only these nosebleeds would go away.
What was it like the next day in school? Did people like give you shit for that all the time, or was it like pretty cool?
I think it was so embarrassing, so over the top embarrassing that just no one ever said anything.
Yeah, that's great. So you can just like bury that down deep inside and never have any resolution to it.
Yeah.
Like, nobody said anything. I didn't have to talk about it.
Maybe they didn't notice.
I fell off the back of a float in the middle of a parade. Nobody noticed.
It was so bad.
You were really checking all the boxes of like cool kid club there. So like bloody noses all the time.
Super heavy nose. President of student government in the marching band.
Participated in a parade. Like, probably willingly. Like you were probably psyched about it.
I think I was supposed to speak at the end.
Did you
I was supposed to like exit the float and give a talk.
Did you wear like a slightly too large like sports coat, tie, and button up?
I did. Probably, yeah. I mean, it was probably like my dad's old one or something. And then also, I was like, I think we've talked about this before, but I was behind on trends quite a bit. So I was probably wearing like parachute pants or something. And and a sports jacket.
I was too, because I got hand-me-downs. I was the youngest boy in my family of 3 boys, and so my oldest brother is, I think, like 6 years older than me, and so anything that he wore made its way to my next brother and then to me. And so not only was it like shrunk and like discolored, but it was also 6 years out of date, out of style. And so that's just how it went for a little while.
I know you have 2 older brothers.
Yep.
And you have a same-age sister.
Mm-hmm.
Where's
Also
the
known as a twin.
one come in?
Oldest sibling is sister.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
How much older is she?
9 years. Yeah.
Cool.
So we're all pretty close in age. For 5 kids, we're all like, it's actually a lot like your family, like your kids.
Yeah.
All they're how old's Carmel gonna be? 11? Or is she 11?
11, yeah.
Is she
She's
11?
11 now.
Okay,
So it's a
so
little bit wider spread than you have.
Nina was born before she turned 11. Okay, so just slightly more spread out. But imagine if Franny were a twin or had a twin, and then that's like my family, because that's how we sort of like.
That's how you got it packed in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yesterday, Katie said, if we had 7 kids, Franny would be a middle child. And I was just like, what are you even talking about right now? I don't know how this is going to end.
Are you Mormons? Mormon? Are you Mormon?
I don't know how it finally ends. I don't see an end in sight. But I'm guessing it has something to do with me jumping off a bridge or something. We're having fun. We're having real fun.
Good,
So.
yeah. No, you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to knock the patio that you're building right now out and just like double your house in size.
Oh, just expand backwards.
Yeah, your house is gonna have to be.
We do need more room.
Much bigger. If you're gonna have 7, Jesus Christ.
Should we talk about the patio?
Yeah, I think that's
a fun idea.
Yeah, I want to hear. Well, I know the answers, but I want you to talk about like what you're doing and then what this means for our future summers.
Yeah, it's going to be a big part of them.
What Christian signed up for in the last podcast, which Ming might have to fight him for.
We're doing it.
So I'll tell you real quick. I don't know if you heard from him, but we want to do a podcast in the hot tub that John's building in his backyard, and they asked Christian if they could do an episode recorded there, and Christian said yes. Ming, I'm calling this one, but you guys can fight over it if you want. I mean, it's going to be fun. So
one day Katie is like, it's just about to get super cold. So I think it was probably November or something. And Katie was like, hey, it'd be really cool if we had like a hot tub in the backyard and like you could even build one. So it was like 10 p.m. She said it as she was going to bed. Mm-hmm. The next morning, she wakes up. It's like 6 a.m. I'm like downstairs already.
Hadn't slept.
I'm like rifing through papers. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to the lumber store. Like we're going to build this hot tub. And it's like, it went from like idea to we're going to make this hot tub.
Did you buy plans?
I did buy plans.
I think it's a good
But the plans are pretty minimal. And the person that put the plans together admits that their hot tub leaked. And they had to take it apart and add a bunch of stuff that they never intended to add to make it not leak.
Did they share that with you, though?
Yes, but not till after I paid for the plans. So I'm building it in their original design, and mine's not going to leak because it's going to be perfect.
Okay.
So the hot tub, just to give a couple specs on the hot tub, I think it's important. This thing's 8 feet wide, 8 feet across, which is ridiculous.
Pretty crazy.
And a normal hot tub is like 32 inches deep. This one's 44 inches deep. It's basically a pool.
We can do cannonballs into it, I think.
I think you can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
So then I start building it, and we mark out where we want it on the ground. Mm-hmm. And it turns out the place that we marked it is directly over where we took a tree out, like a big tree.
Yep.
So there's a giant stump in the ground. So I spent like 8 days like hacking away at this stump, and I finally dug the stump out to my satisfaction, and I'm ready to put the hot tub down. And Katie walks out, and she's like, it'd be cool if there was like a patio or whatever. And I'm like,
I love how she just like drops little seeds in your brain, and she's like, I'm going to go to sleep now.
She's been trying to tell me recently. She's been pulling me aside and being like, you don't have to do everything I say, right? It's just like, if I suggest an idea, you don't have to just do it.
I mean, do you? Do you not?
I do everything she says. It's not good.
I mean, the outcome's pretty good, though. You're going to have a really sweet patio with a built-in
So we found a place that's going to build the patio, and it's like a 2-level patio with the hot tub like kind of nestled into the second level. It's going to be sick.
It's going to be sweet.
And then I spent today, I think I showed you the photo just before this.
Yep.
I spent today building a teeny tiny version of the big hot tub.
Tiny little baby hot tub.
It's just like a foot wide and 5 inches tall, and it's so sweet. It's so cute. You're gonna have to bring it up on the
Yeah, you'll have to send me the picture.
on the video. My sister was making that joke today. She's like, the hot tub's gonna need to be at least 3 times this size.
Ming just pulled up the Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good and Who Want to Do Other Things Good Too Zoolander clip, which is perfect for this because basically what you did was build like a model of this really large thing. And honestly, when I looked at it, I was like, cool. And then you're like, I'm going to get real metal rings for it. I was like, why? And you're like, I don't know. So I can show people what it's going to look like.
My plan is you're coming over to my house. This is just a simulation for the listener. You're coming over to my house. You're going to go in the hot tub.
Yep.
Also, I offered all the workers that are building the patio, I'm like, come back. You're going to go in the hot tub. That was probably a bad idea. Because there's like a lot of them.
Well, and on top of that, like, what if they come back and you want to use the hot tub?
They're just in it. I come home one day and they're just like hanging out.
I mean, I guess, you know what? That's a nice thing to offer.
So what was I going to say? Here's the simulation.
Yep.
You're about to go in my hot tub. So you come over. I'm like, let's grab some beers from the basement before we go over. And then we sit upstairs. We open one of the beers. And I bring out the little hot tub. And I put it on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, just to give you an idea of what's about to happen, this is a simulation of the hot tub. And then I bring out a doll that has hair like you, and I put it in the tub.
You're going to need like a series of doll wigs that you can
And
just like swap out really quick.
Little doll beers like taped to the doll's hand. It's like, this is us in the hot tub. Oh, and the miniature hot tub is built the exact same way. So it has like inset things, got all the mitered corners, and it doesn't leak.
And
it's
so
it's watertight. And it's built of cedar too.
We talked about this before we came in. You're going to have to find dolls that are also to scale for that hot tub so that people can really like get a feel for what they can and can't do in this hot tub when they finally get in it.
You can do anything. This is a 12-person hot tub, and the hot tub can you can turn the temperature down to like 95, so we're thinking about using it as like a heated pool basically because it's that big.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's ridiculous.
I think I'm going to make a suggestion to Kate and let her know to tell you, so because if she tells you you'll do it, that you need an outdoor cooler that's always accessible from the hot tub. Because like, who's going to get out of the hot tub, go all the way to your basement to get beers, and then come back?
It's too far.
That's way too far. You could just build like an outdoor fridge. I'll talk to Kate about it. She'll tell you, and then you can just run with it.
She'll figure it out.
Yeah. But like that's something that's going to be missing, I think. And oh wow, whoa.
Yeah, that's kind of mine's circle, but that's what I'm doing.
But yours is more. Yours is literally just going to be wood, right?
Oh yeah.
It's not going to have like the
so
plastic inserts.
It's really cool because like the tannins, like the aroma, you're going to sit in it, you're going to smell cedar.
It's going to look like a hot tub that was built, or like a tub that was built like 200 years ago, probably.
Yeah, but then nestled into like a modern patio.
But it's going to still have all the equipment inside of it that makes it like a hot tub. Somehow.
Yes. The equipment is going to be that's basically what I'm building. One of those.
Oh, there you go. Right there. That one's like looks like a lot like what I thought it would be.
So the equipment is going to be in a like bench that goes around the front. So it'll be hidden. You'll think it's a bench, but it's actually like the heater and everything.
So here's another suggestion. What you should do is the part that looks down towards like the lower part of the patio. You should imagine like the top's a perfect circle. Have it go and like dip down so that it's like an infinity pool, and that just like keeps flowing down the side of the part of the hot tub, and then it circulates back in.
See?
That would be pretty sweet.
We would never get anywhere with these ideas. It's too intense.
All right, I'll stop suggesting it.
I always wanted to build an infinity pool on the edge.
Yeah.
Edge of the cliff.
That would be pretty scary, but pretty cool if you could do it.
Somebody came and gave us a price for it. It's
They did?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Hey, how you doing on your beer?
I'm almost empty.
I don't know if you're going to like what I'm going to give you, but I know that I'm not a fan of it, so I think you're going to like it.
Huh.
That's usually how the logic works.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Are we doing a swap right now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's time. I haven't done a swap in 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this hot tub. You're having somebody do the electrical, right? You're going to do it yourself? I'm never getting in it.
No, it's going to be permitted. So
No, I trust.
inspector's going to come look at it. It'll be 100% legit.
I trust you.
And I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I trust you. I trust you. Just don't want to get
But
zapped
it's probably a good idea I don't go in.
ever.
Just don't go in.
I'll just put my feet in. I'll let you go in first every time.
You want me to pop this open for you?
Yeah, please.
We're
Can't
doing
wait.
too much table stuff. We're making...
I also want to point out, because I don't think we'll get to drink these today, but Ming gave us this awesome collection of Great Notion beers. Thank you, Ming.
Thank you.
We hold these up for you.
And we can bring them back, too. We can bring them on the next podcast, which would be
Yes,
sweet.
we're going to chill these up and bring these back. Each one is something different. We'll talk about them next time, but the label art is amazing.
It is very cool.
And I can't wait to drink them and try them. We've been hearing a lot of good things about them.
Sound.
Sorry. So here, this one's for you.
Stop it.
Very excited about this. Sorry.
Oh, God. Here he
A lot
goes.
going on. A lot of activity going on here.
Is this for me?
Yeah. Did you just open that for it thinking it was for me?
I'm just keep opening beers and handing them to you.
Okay. So I'll talk about this one really quick. As most people probably know at this point, I am a massive DuClaw fan. This is from DuClaw Brewing Company, Sweet Baby Java, which is different from Sweet Baby Jesus, but is a very similar description.
We spent some time trying to figure out the difference.
Yeah.
And I think the difference is that this has espresso being an addition.
Yeah. So like this last one that I had it was just flavors of, it was a milk stout with flavors of peanut butter, coffee, and dark chocolate. This is the same, but I think the espresso changes it a little bit.
It's still good. You like it?
Yeah, yeah. So it's 6.2 ABV.
I tried to have it as a surprise, and then Colin came over to my house and ruined the surprise.
Yeah.
So.
So you're asking me if I liked it, and I'm saying yes, even though I haven't sipped it yet. Surprise, I already tried it yesterday, but I'm still extremely happy to drink it again because I love everything they make. So, yeah, really psyched about this one. And I wore my DuClaw hat today, so
Nice.
keeping it on brand.
Nice.
Yeah. What do you
You
got?
should take a DuClaw bath. That's a thing, right?
What? In your hot tub?
Okay.
Wait, what does that mean?
A bath. I'm gonna make a pedestal here,
Okay.
that we can bring.
What?
Put it down. We can put the beers on that. And then it's not gonna make the sound. See, it's the thing.
You can bathe in beer.
That's what I'm building. We'll
That's
just fill it
actually,
with
yeah,
beer.
that's pretty funny that looks exactly the same. All right.
So
go.
what I have is a double nickel from Pensacola, New Jersey. Their Belgian Golden Ale. I love Belgian beer.
I
anything
thought you
Belgian.
might, yeah.
This is 8% alcohol. It is a 12-ounce can, the short one. Yeah. Notes of citrus, banana, and clove. Clove is kind of like the deal with Belgian beer. So if you don't like clove, you're not going to...
That's probably why I don't like it's, and it's not them. It's nothing that they've done.
Double nickel, you're on notice.
No, I love double nickel. We actually had one of the first beers we bought in the office in Asbury was double nickel, and I was a big fan.
It was the green can.
No, it was. I mean, it might have had green in it, but it was like a really interesting pattern design. It was like a geometric pattern or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
They normally aren't like this. This is like a very
Yeah,
plain.
this is. They had.
Give it a sip.
They actually had a lot of different styles. They had a Vienna lager. Wait, yeah, that's a Belgian.
Yeah,
They had a
that's good.
Vienna
That's
lager that I almost bought. They had this, and then they had something else, which was a little bit more standard. It might have been an IPA. And so I went with this because I like double nickel. I wanted to get them on the show, and I also was pretty sure that this was a style you'd be into. And yeah, I mean, I also really like the Circus Liquors near me because they have cold storage and then just like regular shelves, and it's just packed with craft beer. Most of it's local.
Keep meaning to get over there.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I know if I go over there, I can probably find something new like every time that I haven't had before. So that's really cool. My brother-in-law Jay actually helps. Is one of the guys that stocks, not stocks their shelves. One of the sales reps that sells them beer. So
Nice.
he always gets them the good stuff.
You've talked a lot about Jay, but I've never met him.
Yeah, we could
I
probably
met
have him on the
his
show one day.
brother,
Yes, Casey.
Casey.
We drank a beer with him at Source. We just happened to be standing in line at the same time, and we went in for a beer, and it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a cool guy. That was the day that you couldn't figure out which beer was which beer.
I'm pretty sure I just drank the same beer.
You're still sure you just got all the same beers?
I'm pretty sure I asked for 2 separate beers, but both times got the exact same beer. And I'll never know because I got the bottles. I got one of each bottle, but then I think I gave one away. So I can never do like a side-by-side like blind taste test. So it's a mystery forever. I'll never know.
I like the idea that a brewery could just like put the same beer in multiple containers and sell it as different beer, but they're definitely different.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they did, but I kind of
think
a lot of places might do that and get away with it because like
a
hazy
I think
IPA,
they have like an IPA formula, right? And they're just like, now this is our seasonal winter IPA. Now this is our summer IPA.
Yeah. And it tastes so similar. And then like it's like a slight variation and like everything else is the same. Or it might taste exactly the same and they just release them 2 months apart and you're like, wow, this reminds me so much of that other one. I like this one a little bit better than that one, but it's the same beer. And you just would never know. My
beer fridge in my basement is, I think, out of control at this point. You saw it yesterday. It's you were like, just organize it differently.
I didn't say it like that.
You said it like that.
It sounded like a witch.
Just organize it differently.
Which, by the way, was a really interesting story that you told on the last episode that I wanted to bring up. Is that true, by the way? That witches are brewers?
Yeah, that is true.
Because like it makes sense. Like they do like brew. Brouhaha, or what is that? Brouhaha, like.
Yeah, they're like boiling the wort, and then there's a cat running around like chasing the mice away from the grain.
It's amazing.
And
never knew that.
And they had a hat that like called them out. If you look up, I think it's called Brew Wife. Just look up Brew Wife.
Okay.
That's kind of like the thing you want to find.
So anyone that makes beer is considered a witch, technically.
I think it's like is a trick. Just men trying
to find their way in and
do
take over.
Nasty shit, like we always do.
Yep.
You know, we're the worst.
That's it.
What did you think, by the way, of the previous episode? How did we do?
Well, first of all...
Now, go ahead.
First of all, I don't think you ever settled on which episode it was. It was episode 13. And second of all, I don't think we ever...
My phone was like stuck in I had a bunch of topics on my phone.
Yeah.
And it was stuck over there, and it felt awkward getting up and getting it. So I was like, I'm gonna roll with it.
Just gonna power through it.
The best show ever.
We never introduced this show, did we?
This is Good Not Great, episode 14.
Here we go. So
Bernard's. Okay.
Bernard Beer Spa. So can you? Oh, you can drink. They're not just scooping the beer out of the tub.
It's poured into warm baths.
Ugh. Oh no, because I can't figure it out. Because it looks like there's 2 different spouts. One of them's for the tub. One of them's for drinking. I guess both of them are for drinking.
100%. I would go into that.
It looks a little snug, but like
it's fine.
That one looks fine. That one looks just like
that's
cold.
What I'm building.
It's got to be. That doesn't.
That looks like me.
Yeah, it's gonna be you in a couple weeks.
That's the goal.
Oh boy. I am not going in your hot tub if you're gonna hang out like that outside of it.
You're gonna show up to the hot tub and I'm gonna be sitting outside lounging, eating grapes. Welcome, Colin. I hoped you would come by the hot tub.
I hope you just have like frilly chest hair and a big gold chain.
And then I do a laugh that lasts for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you like walk away halfway through and come back and I'm still laughing.
Yeah. And I hope you don't do this, but in this scenario you'd be wearing like a very small Speedo that should not
I already have it.
Be owned. Oh, great. Well, I'm never coming over. Yeah, these look cool. These bathe in beer.
She looks like she's captive a little bit.
Yeah, she looks uncomfortable, but the ones before it looked pretty cool. So, see, that looks a little snug.
But that looks like fun.
Is that? Do you think?
Oh my god, that looks like fun.
They're just pouring the beer. It's like a beer commercial when you're like, why did you overflow the cup and then spilled all over your counter? Now you need to get paper towels.
It's going right into the thing.
Yeah, they're not even stopping. He's just wasting beer.
That's so funny. We were talking about this on a previous episode that there would be a bar where you could kind of pour as much beer as you want out of the taps. We just didn't realize that it was going to be in a hot tub.
It's pretty amazing. I'm going to tell Kate this idea too and see if she can get you to make your hot tub.
Yeah, see if I can run a line outside.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Come on, previous episode. Give us your honest.
I thought it was good. I told you that I was like smiling and like laughing throughout it. I thought there's a lot of really funny moments. I thought the girls did really great. It's not like it's pretty intimidating to like just jump into doing a podcast for the first time.
It took some convincing to get them on the show.
Yeah,
mostly Kate. Like, Kate was like not wanting to go. Abby was like, let's go straight over to the studio right now.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's like the fight or flight thing. It's like I'm either gonna go and like handle this and be okay with it, or I'm gonna be terrified and like maybe run away. It seems like they both did great. Turns out it sounds like they both had different feelings about the outcome. I know Kate said yesterday that she doesn't ever want to do it again, and it sounds like Abby's ready to go as soon as she's ready to invite her again. Yeah, so that's great.
At the end, I made a joke where I was like, "See you next week," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I mean it was a good show, and it would be fun to like see how they progress as they do more shows.
It'd be fun to do like a combo episode where it's like, you know, 2 sets of hosts.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, like
the you and the Abby.
We totally switch ourselves out with somebody else?
No, like I'm obviously a mainstay at this point. I'm on every episode.
Okay.
But like you're here sometimes.
No way.
You know?
I'm not getting kicked off my own show.
But it'd be cool to do it again with everybody.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And now that the world's kind of going back in the right direction, I got, boom, shot number 1, ready to go with shot number 2.
Are you going to go the other arm?
I might.
You might mix it up? Go straight into my temples.
Yeah. Does that keep me safe? They'd be like, no, you're going to die immediately if we do that. Don't do that.
How does it feel?
It feels no different. I have heard people say that the second one's worse, though, so we'll see how that feels, how that goes.
Worse how? Like, did something hurt?
No, like as in they feel symptoms. First one, this is very true. Like I'm not even trying to make it sound like it's not a big deal or whatever. I didn't know she gave me the shot. I described to someone else. I was like, I would have felt the wind breeze on my arm more than I felt the shot go in because it feels like nothing. And I don't like shots. I don't like needles. I just like blood and needles and stuff like sort of gross me out. And so.
Yeah.
I'm the person that they're like, okay, you're going to have to lay down on a stretcher for 15 minutes before we let you leave. I get that from my mom, and she had to do the same thing. They only have 1 tent and 1 stretcher in all of these facilities, and it's for, like, me or my mom.
You, like, walk past the tent. You're like, see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to go hang out in there. I hope you got juice boxes because I'm going to need one.
You got the little cookies?
Yeah. They're like, we didn't take your blood. Like, doesn't matter. I'm going to pass out. I'll be right back. Yeah, so it was fine. It was actually really fine. And with the second one, apparently, so with the first one, I felt no symptoms. I didn't feel, you get a vaccine. It's like whatever it's for. Like you might get a headache. You might, whatever. If it's like the flu shot, you might feel feverish. Mm-hmm. That's a possibility. So with this, the first one felt nothing. I'm hearing some people say with the second one, they're having like headaches or even fevers to a certain extent. I haven't seen any reports that anybody's like had it so bad that they've had to go to the hospital.
Right?
Yeah, because I can go back to normal. Like I can go back to doing like normal things after the second one's done and not be worried about stuff. So
we're gonna go hold signs outside of downtown.
Yeah.
We're
gonna go into downtown. We're gonna break a window
and do the chicken dance.
We should hire whichever band it is that plays that. Was it a band or was it a DJ?
It is mostly a DJ. I don't think I ever saw a band there.
Whoever it is, we should hire them and have them play on the street and like remind people about how great it was and is and should be.
Yeah.
If
so
they don't
many
reopen,
places closed.
I know it's so bad.
Like we were just talking before the episode about maybe Walt Street is looking for a new owner or something. And it's like, what?
I feel like they've always been looking for a new owner.
Oh, okay.
And that's probably not true, but like they are the type of bar that
it's always for sale.
Feels like it, yeah. Like if you make the right offer,
for sale, sign in the door. They've been selling it for 10 years.
Yeah, I like that place too. That's what I'm afraid of is that somebody's gonna buy this
place. That place is cool.
And then like turn it into something different. If somebody buys it, I want it to just be the same thing it is today or something similar. Like have the same vibe. Don't like totally flip it and make it like a some type of like fusion bar or something where it combines a bunch of different cuisines. It's like bar food, draft beer. Live music. That's it.
What is the ultimate Red Bank dive bar?
Right now?
Yeah. Globe's pretty good.
Globe is probably
We're talking dive bars, so like Red Rock does not count.
No, I think Walt and I think Globe are probably the only two that are left.
The bar inside the Molly pitcher is kind of funny.
I was just not at the Molly pitcher at the Oyster Point.
Okay.
I was just there 2 or 3 weeks ago with
Still good?
Norm and our friend Zach, and we went after because we went to Beer Vino. We got dinner, and then we ran across the street, this 4-lane like kind of highway street in the middle of the night, barely with looking, and we went to Molly Pitcher first. They were closed, and then we went over to Oyster Point, and it was fine. It was
that Molly Pitcher bar is so funny because it's like you go in there and you're like, is it fancy? Like,
well, that's
because like it kind of is,
mm-hmm.
but then everyone that's drinking there is not.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah. There's a place in Red Bank right across from the Grove. It's next door to Triumph. Yeah. It's a steakhouse or a steak place, and I don't remember what. It's not like it's not DJ's. That might be maybe. It's not like a dive bar, but it's like most people don't think about it or know about it, I guess.
What is it called?
Let me see.
No pressure.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
I love dive bars so much. It's just like I wanted for a long time to catalog all of them. You know, I should have done it before they all got shut down.
Danny's.
I've never been there.
Steakhouse.
Oh, Danny's. That's the one that's like, you want sushi? You want steak? You want beer?
Oh yeah,
they've got
sushi
and steak.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing that a lot of restaurants do.
Yeah.
Sushi and steak.
But
those are two completely different cuisines.
I want to find you a picture of the bar because
I've been to Danny's.
This is going so slow.
It's kind of expensive too.
Yeah,
I think they're a steakhouse.
Yeah, I told you about the wingman thing that we did a while ago.
Best idea. You should talk about that.
I think we should still do it.
Talk about it right now.
So let me tell you the story, and then I'll talk about it. Oh yeah, there you go. Is that Danny's? Yeah. So the bar is actually a great bar. It's like a nice, like there's not a lot of bars like that I've seen anymore.
The normal place you sit at Danny's is like in a totally separate room from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where people actually want to be when they get there. You're like, hey, do you have a table at the bar or a seat at the bar? And they're like, no, we've got a table in the dining room. You're like, I'll wait.
I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah, I'll come back later.
Go to Robinson Ale House.
They've got a good bar actually. So we when we did, so I'll tell. Okay, maybe I have to tell what Wingman is first before I tell the story. So Wingman was this business that me and 3 friends started back when we were like 18.
You know, there's a 5th friend that's on the fringe right now. He's listening to the podcast and he's like, "God damn, Colin."
No, we were. It was the 4 of us, the core 4. We really was the 4 of us. I actually was the asshole who was like, I don't think I want to do this, and I waited. And the first night that they did it, I think they all went out like canvassing, like putting out business cards and stuff in Red Bank. We would just go and take a handful of business cards and chuck them in the air.
They would go into like a giant bar like full of people,
and
like into the crowd and just be like, whoosh.
Not that we weren't that big of assholes, but we did like we just would like drop a business card on the ground and someone would be like, "Oh, I should go pick that up." And we're like, "Nah," because that's how people would find out about it. We thought, and so anyway,
wait, your plan was to litter.
Yeah.
And then depend on people picking up the litter.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And so the idea, what we did. Oh, so that's what I was gonna say. I was the asshole who like didn't do it the first night. They went out and canvassed, and then they got their first phone call, and I was sitting there when they got their first phone call, and I was like, I'm in. I'm so in. It was like really exhilarating.
Let me get on the rocket ship.
Yeah. And so anyway, the idea was what we were doing was people go out. They'd go out to a bar either with their family, their friends, whoever. They would have driven themselves, and turns out maybe they had too much to drink or whatever the reason was. They'd call us and we'd pick them up and drive them home in their own car. And so that was...
So it's like Uber, except instead of bringing you to the place, they only bring you home, but they also bring your car with you.
Yeah, specifically in your own car. So like you don't use us if you don't have a car for us to drive you home in. You can't get in our car. We had zero like licenses or anything to do anything. We were relying on a loophole in New Jersey's laws that said as long as you had insurance in the state of New Jersey, you're required to buy insurance in New Jersey to have a part that protects anybody that drives your car, including like friends or family. So we were just considered friends or family if anything were to ever happen, which it luckily didn't. And so like that was the only rule that we really like skirted around. And so anyway, so that was basically it. We would go out, we would start, usually first call would come in around like 8 p.m. And then we would drive until like 3 a.m. And
it was busy.
Rides all night long.
Like constant rides.
Yeah. And so like we had to start like tapping into our friends groups to like get people to come help us because the four of us couldn't cover all of the rides that were coming in. And I think the biggest crew that we had one time was like 10 people,
Sorry.
which meant there was like 5 crews that could go do pickups and drop-offs because 2 people had to work together. And it was this big deal because we made because we were charging a flat fee of like $20 per ride, no matter where you were going, as long as it was within like Rumson, Red Bank, Seabright, Shrewsbury, Little Silver, or probably Colts Neck even.
People would go like 2 miles and
Yeah, most people that were out were like local, and so we could keep it to a $20 flat fee, and then they would tip us like 100% of the fee. Like people were tipping us like $20, $50. Like we were making most of our money on tips. And so I remember the first night that we had like
was someone like accounting like to figure like, or are you just taking the money and splitting it up?
It was all cash. It was all cash, and we put it into an envelope, and then at the end of the summer we just dumped it on a table.
And it was a lot of money.
It was I think it was like 10 or 20 grand. I say 10 or 20, which is obviously a big difference, but
it's a cool idea. It's a really cool idea.
And we were running it with a burner phone. Not a smartphone. Like we didn't have that. This was 2007, by the way. So this was a long time ago compared to like what's happened. We had like one of those tiny little burner phones that barely had a screen, like one of those old school Nokias. We got a phone number. We had clipboards, and that was it. We didn't have insurance. We didn't have. We had an LLC, and like that was probably the most official part about us. Otherwise, like people were just hiring these like 18, 19-year-old kids to come out and pick them up in their own cars. People would give us their keys and be like, "We're not coming with you. We just need you to take my car home. We're staying here." And that was really surprising.
And then they would get an Uber later or something.
Uber didn't exist then. We were pre-Uber.
We're just gonna live at the bar.
No, they were at their beach club.
And
they were gonna come home with their friends or something. And they wanted to keep drinking, but they didn't want their car, so we took their cars home.
I didn't know in Ocean County. I guess there were beach clubs, but like I wasn't part of a class that accessed them.
They're expensive.
But moving here, it's been really interesting to see like how prevalent they are.
Yeah.
And some of them are very private. They're like like golf clubs almost. Same kind of deal.
Like a country club, yeah. There's the one in Seabright that's right over the bridge. It's called Seabright Beach Club. It is so hard to get in there because most of the people that become new members are part of a legacy membership, meaning their family has been members for 100 years or whatever. Like somebody in their family is already a member. Mm-hmm. They sort of like jump the line and they become a legacy member. And because they've got that connection, they can get in within like a couple years of being on a wait list. If you, John, wanted to join right now, the wait list would take probably like 5 to 10 years just to get in. And then you have to spend a certain amount per summer on food and alcohol.
Password is the password.
No way. That'd be so dumb. I'm trying to like think of what it would be. I couldn't even guess.
We went to Italy on our most recent trip, and this is a very common thing in Italy. Not beach clubs, but like restaurants that are on a beach that essentially own the rights to the beach behind their restaurant.
Yeah.
So you like buy some food there, and then you pay $5 extra per person, and like you get a beach spot for the day.
Yeah.
And like they're bringing your food out. Maybe you get like a percentage off your food because you're on the beach.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
it's weird because it's a privatized beach and
yeah. Well, they'll actually like chase you off if you're like if I start from like a free public beach and I walk across one of these beaches, if I stay too long, because they watch people come onto their beaches. And like I think the lifeguards are even
Oh,
responsible.
you can walk
sometimes.
onto it, but they'll
Of
find
course.
you.
Yeah, there's not like a fence on the beach to keep you out, but if you come in and you're not wearing like a bracelet, or if they don't recognize you, they'll ask you who you are. And especially the ones in Seabright, like and I think the guests are like pretty on top of it too. Like I remember a long time ago, my family was members at one of these clubs, and I remember being like, I don't know that guy. He's not wearing a bracelet. Get him out of here. Like as a kid, like people are pretty serious about it.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, because like I guess you are paying for the right to have like this space to yourself, or to like yourself and the other guests, which is a weird privilege
It's similar
thing.
to that community in Rumson that you were saying, like they chase kids out.
Yeah.
It's like if you own one of the houses, you could kind of see it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we paid so much money to live on this island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. That's a lot of that stuff is legacy too. Like a lot of the people that own those houses, they just pass them through generations. It's not like a glamorous place to live, I don't think. They get hit with a lot of storms. The houses are not big by any means. They're like beach homes, like not like fancy big beach homes that a family of 14 can live in.
Sometimes you hold on to the legacy just for the legacy, you know?
Yeah.
That's what you do.
You just don't want to let it go. But
Now, it is getting warmer, right?
it is.
It's getting warmer every day.
It's a
Today,
fact.
I wore shorts outside.
You're not right now though.
Well, I swapped them out.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I
just
didn't
wanted
want to.
because nobody can see what's going on behind the table.
I didn't want to make any problems for anyone.
Or nobody can see if they're listening on the audio only, but on the video you can't see your legs. So I just wanted to point out that you're not wearing shorts
Or anything.
now. Well,
Nothing down here.
that's
So,
just showing.
so I was wearing shorts, and it's getting warmer. I'm feeling really good about warmth.
Mhm.
We were talking out in the lobby that we're going to need some T-shirt
Yes, we
versions
are.
of these, or possibly tanks.
We'll
No?
go t-shirt.
Okay, we're going to keep it with T-shirts.
Are you a
Keep-
tank kind of guy?
No.
I'll get you a tank.
No.
You want
A tank
I'll
would
get
go
you.
well with your
Visor?
Your visor, your salty crew visor.
I'll get both. I'll get a tank top and a visor, and you will regret it.
So let's get some T-shirts.
Yeah, we'll do
Right?
that. Yeah,
We're
those
gonna
are-
get, do you have any other plans for the summer? Is anything
just
going
gonna
on?
make t-shirts. That's it. Is that what you meant? No,
Hey,
no.
get on it.
My plans for the summer are to
Go in the hot tub.
Go in your hot
You
tub.
can use the hot tub while I'm gone, by the way.
yeah. I probably won't. But no, I appreciate the offer. I probably will only do that when you guys are there, because it probably won't be very fun if it's like if I'm just like in your hot tub and I'm like
Yeah.
splashing around by myself.
You bring out the mini hot tub by yourself.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to do today. And it's just one little guy.
It's pretty
And you're
sad.
dancing around
It's
in the
pretty
hot
sad.
tub, and then you go out and do
Yeah.
it.
That'd be pretty scary to see somebody doing that.
I'm looking forward to just like the weather turning good.
I
You know,
want to.
I'm tired to be locked inside. It's
Mhm.
like I hate winter normally, and I double hate it when we have
Mhm.
this like COVID situation going on. So
Yep.
that's going to be starting to wind down a little bit, at least like temporarily for the summer.
The COVID stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it already is. You know, the numbers
Yeah.
are kind of trending down.
Yep.
So that's going to go down a little bit, and like maybe we can have a little bit of normalcy
Mhm.
sometime soon.
Yeah.
And to kind of preempt that, I'm making a big, bad decision, and I'm taking my family to Florida, which is funny because we're going on Friday. This
Mhm.
Friday, we're leaving.
And how are you getting there?
Well, we're taking the RV, of
Yeah.
course. You know I'm going to talk about the RV. So we're taking the RV down there. But it's funny, like, so I was talking to my barber, and I was saying, like, I'm going down to Florida. And he's like, that's funny. I was just down there last week. And, like, living up here in New Jersey, you are very liable to get in a fight with someone.
Going to Florida?
Yeah, because when you go down there, apparently, like, no one's wearing the masks. No one is
Oh, yeah.
obeying any of the rules or anything.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if you don't want to wear the mask, but, like, if you don't have a mask on, just don't come near me.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. To I can maybe I can squint really, really, really hard, and I can see that the mask is infringing on your liberties, right?
Okay.
But once you walk by someone else, how could you not put together the fact that like you walking by me without the mask on is infringing on my liberties?
Sure. Yeah.
It's like if you want to have your thing and I want to have my thing, then we need to ensure that your thing
Mm-hmm.
doesn't fuck with my thing.
Yeah,
right?
I think
Is
that's
that
fair.
obvious?
I think that's
is that
fair.
obvious to everyone?
Oh, it should-
everyone listening?
It should be.
If you're listening and you're a time traveler, clap back at us right now. Oh, we heard him.
Well, so here's the problem. The people that think that things are infringing on their liberties are not thinking about anybody else's liberties. And
Never.
it's like, you're infringing on my liberties. I don't care about your liberties. And so as long as mine are taken care of, then like everything else is fine. Even if I'm like causing you to not have your own.
Yeah. And they just want like some kind of like homogeneous society where everyone has the same expectations of what their liberties are.
Right.
And it's like, it's not, because we live in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to say, like, don't come to Florida, but, like, a lot of the people that are making the problems in Florida right now
from Florida.
don't even fucking live there.
Yeah.
So we're all going to go to Florida together. And then some people are not going to have masks on. I'm going to get in a fight. I'm going to go to jail, but then they're going to let me out of jail because I'm in the right. That's how I think it's going to go.
You're not going to start the fight. You're just going to end up in one.
End the fight.
Oh, shit.
We don't start fights. We end fights.
All right. I don't know if I feel good about that, but sure.
So we're taking the RV down. We're going to have a good time. We're not going all the way to Miami, which I think is where, like, that's right now. I read a news article yesterday where, like, someone, like, fired a gun into a crowd and, like,
cool.
or like, fired it up in the air and was like, they probably thought they were saying, like, we're here.
Woo, woo.
It's like, I'm not going to that, but I'm going close to that, you know, so.
They're in a state of emergency right now. I think it's Miami, and I think it's because of the maskless crowds.
Think back to last year when like things were just getting really bad. You know, we had most states had just entered lockdowns, and there were all these photos of Miami Beach just wall to wall, like people like literally touching shoulders with other people, just walking on the beach, no masks. And it's like, I don't know, that doesn't look too good because you're all going to go back to your houses and you're going to bring that with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
we thought it was mostly young people at the time, but like, I don't think it is.
No, it's a little bit of everybody, I think, which is just terrible. But yeah, just don't go near stupid people and don't start a fight.
End a fight.
End a fight if you need to, but don't start a fight.
You know who is down in Florida right now, though? You know who's down in Florida? Mark Dill.
Oh, hell yes.
In Florida.
Mark Dill. I don't know if he watches the show, but I really hope he does because we need to. I
hope he does. For a long time, Colin and I talked about Can I talk about them? We talked about let's find some beer influencers on Instagram.
Yeah. Women.
Probably women. Let's just be honest. Like, nobody's gonna click on the like button with like it's me.
So I think what is important to say is that like you can go on Instagram and you can recognize pretty quickly that there's this lane of like, you know, fairly attractive to attractive women who pose with different beers. They get to a certain level of fandom that like breweries are just sending them. Is this so? You knew this without even looking it up?
He knows.
Yeah. And like half the time the pictures are like, I love this new hazy IPA, and it's like off in the background. There you go. Yeah, something like that. She's actually promoting the beer along with a couple other things, but like the beer's in there too. And like some of them they'll be like, I love this new hazy IPA, and it's like over like down on the floor, and it's like mostly just them in their bikini, and it's like they've got thousands and thousands and thousands of likes and followers. She's got 50,000 followers.
Holy crap.
And
it says in her bio she's not an influencer, so.
Yeah, but then she's clearly specifically here to promote beer. And wait, can you scroll back?
So we started looking.
It says best beer Instagram influencer account. So
we started looking, and we were like,
choose lane, lady.
Maybe we just pay one of these people to like promote beers that we think are interesting and like promote like buying beers through the platform, right? That's like,
oh my god, I'm so excited about this idea. Go on, sorry.
Wait, what's the idea?
I just pictured Mark with
like. So okay. Let me get through the idea.
Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Well, I have a more specific like.
So we wanted to promote this, and then we started doing the Instagram, and like instead of Colin just doing the Instagram by himself, now we both do it. Mm-hmm. So kind of like the influencer hot girl is us. We're the influencer hot girl.
We're not in any of the pictures.
We're not doing too great, but we're doing okay. We're doing too.
Well, you got some stuff out.
Sometimes I got good hands, so I put my hands.
Hand
in
model
the photo.
Stuff. Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
And here we are. And
Show 'em off.
we were thinking maybe. Look at that.
Great.
We'll get a close up. So then, every time my hand almost gets cut off, I'm
have to
like,
retake it.
whoo! I gotta slow down because like.
Oh, you mean
this is
like
a good hand.
literally cut off?
Yeah, like cut off by a machine.
Yeah, you gotta move slow.
So then we're thinking like, is Mark Dill this person? So just to recap on who Mark Dill is, he's a guy that he's on the Source Origins Facebook group. So he's in like a private group. He posts a video of every beer that comes out from Source with him with no shirt on. He chugs the beer, and then he does something with marijuana, and then he blows it out through a rock-on symbol. Ka-tow. Oh, wait, that one?
I don't remember if it's.
Yeah, I
that
think
way.
it's toward him.
Yeah.
Blows it out through that.
Yeah.
So the other day, someone makes an impersonation video,
Tribute.
a tribute.
Yeah.
But they don't do all the steps, and they had a shirt on. And part of their explanation why they didn't have a shirt, why they had a shirt on, is because, like, they're not in great shape. But, like, that's missing the whole point.
Yeah, that's not what it's about.
The point is that, I don't know, that's not what it's about.
No, that's
Yeah.
not it at all.
Mark Dill doesn't care. So so he does that, and then he replied with the video. Okay, go say it.
Wait, so I don't think so. The guy I think went like this. I think he gave a thumbs up.
He didn't do that?
I don't think so. I don't remember him doing that. And so
He should have huffed a fog machine.
yeah, some dry ice. So Mark replied with his own video. He's in Florida right now, and he was
He
at
chugged a beer.
Yeah, he did chug a beer, and but he was wearing a shirt because he was in a brewery, and he apologized. He said, "I'm sorry. I know I don't have my shirt off, but it's because I'm in a brewery right now, and I don't think that they'd appreciate that." So this guy,
Proving that he's self-aware.
so self-aware, he knows exactly what he's doing. He is.
He's an influencer, baby.
He is without a doubt. So here's what was making me laugh. This is what was making me laugh. So Mark, you can tell he's like a rock guy. Like he gives the horns every time he chugs a beer.
He has to.
He's got long hair. He's got some nipple rings, which like
Two of them.
Yeah, he's like rock, but like probably borderline metal. Like he's
Right. Yeah,
I believe it.
I've thought that every time I looked at him.
Yeah, and so
Because he's doing the rock symbol, but he's clearly got long hair.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He's doing the nipple.
Oh, and
rings.
you know he listens to some good music. Oh yes, good choice. And so this is what made me laugh. So he's got the long hair, and what I just pictured was him doing his first influencer post with us, with like pigtails, like intentionally like making it like silly and kind of like stupid, like give him pigtails, have him like pretend to be one of these girls and like pose the way they do. But it's just him.
Would he do it?
I don't know.
I mean, it'd be great.
I would love it because
Mark Dill, we've called you out before. If you're listening, he has to contact
he
us.
He deserves to be in front of like any form of a camera, whether it's like photography or like video or something. Like he is a character that belongs on TV or on a series or a show. Like he is so.
He really
funny.
is very good.
And we got to get him. We got to get him as our influencer on BeerBroadcast and like pay him in
I
beer.
just have
or something.
so many questions.
I'll buy him Source beer for the rest of his life.
I have so many questions about him and for him.
Yeah.
That even just to meet him would be good.
We should have him on the show. We've talked
Can
about
you
this
make
before.
it happen?
I'll reach out to him, yeah. I mean,
Nice.
we should probably have a couple other people on the show before we have him, but I want him on the show.
Should we? Who else
I'm
should we
talking
have?
about like the appropriate timeline of like who should we talk to?
Mark
like,
Dill?
Of course.
Number
But
one.
we should definitely talk to some of the breweries that we are working with and have them come on and talk about their story. We've talked to Phil about having him on the show a billion times. We should do that. And like, yeah, let's start rolling through some of our guests and getting them on here. But Mark is like top three. Next,
There's
guest.
a great intersection of beer and podcasts. It seems like.
Yeah, I think so. It seems like there's I mean, even within the studio, there's like, Ming, do you know how many beer podcasts are going on in the Shared Universe studio?
3 right now.
Okay.
3 or 4. I lost count.
Okay, yeah, because there's a
Craft
lot,
beer and
right?
comics. There's the Ross one. There's us, and then maybe another one.
I think there's another that I'm not thinking of, but yes.
Yeah, and it's like amazing. It seems like because like this seems like a natural thing to sit here with a beer and like talk.
What is your model for this podcast, by the way? I have something very specific in my head for what I'm trying to emulate, and it's, I guarantee, not the thing that you're trying to do.
I have no idea.
Do you remember Dig Nation?
DIGG Nation?
Yes.
Sounds familiar. But
So,
I don't
okay,
know.
do you remember dig.com?
Yeah.
So dig.com was a website where it was like Reddit, basically. It was
Yep.
Reddit.
Yep.
It was Reddit. So they would take the most popular posts that had been in the past 24 hours or whatever. They'd be in a ranked list. So you could go to this page at any time and you could see the most popular things.
But I think it was like there was like some algorithm that like posted it.
Algorithm.
It
to
wasn't like
figure out how to get.
community driven.
No, there's something that to figure out how stuff gets to the top.
Yeah.
And they would do a weekly show with Alex, I don't remember his name, and Kevin Rose, who was the founder of Dig. And they would do a weekly show where they would drink, and they would talk about the things that had happened that week that were the biggest.
Okay.
So like
Interesting.
like at any point you can go there and see the biggest links, but they're going to talk about like the week's biggest links.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it was just great. It was
Okay.
an awesome podcast.
Yeah.
And it was like very early. It was before like podcasts had really taken off. So they were super early in making this podcast.
I mean, this
They
must
made
have
a
been
video
like 15
podcast
years
too.
ago.
That
Dig
sounds
hasn't
about
been-
right. I was
Dig hasn't been popular
obsessed with Kevin
forever.
Rose. I wanted to be Kevin Rose.
Okay.
Didn't quite make it.
Wow.
In many respects,
You
I
could.
kind of
Too late.
overshot.
Yeah.
I
not too late.
overshot on technology.
Yeah.
And I undershot on cool factor.
Oh, okay. Well, you can still figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
Let's talk about our beers, and then let's. I've got one more topic, unless you've got one
No, I'm done.
to wrap it up because we're
got
getting
it.
close. Go ahead.
So what I'm drinking is the Movies Milkshake IPA. I love Kevin Smith movies. This is Red Tank Brewing did kind of a tribute beer, which is a movies inspired milkshake IPA, which I think is it? It's not Clerks 2. It's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was kind of like the introduction of movies. Is that right?
Dogma's.
Dogma's like the first place, and then when it really took off was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and that's where she worked at the restaurant, right?
That's where they met.
Or, sorry, he worked at the restaurant. I gotta say, I cracked open this beer the first time, and I thought like this beer is going to be built basically on this label. You know, like the whole idea is the label, and it doesn't even matter what's inside this can. Which they could have put anything in here, and I still would have bought it.
Yeah.
Could have put water in here, I would have bought it. I don't care, because like I just like the movies. It's so funny. I remember the scene with Rosario Dawson. I mean, that's like she was outside movies, like on the like swing set or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Great scene.
Clerks 2, yes.
It was Clerks 2. Yeah, that's what it was. And she was singing what was it, ABC?
Yes.
Yeah. So do you know?
All I wanted to say is that she's now dating Cory Booker, the New Jersey senator.
Is she really?
Yep.
That's a great match. It's a great match. Yeah, that's exactly the scene I'm talking about. Is great. It's a great scene. So I opened it thinking like this doesn't have to be anything special, and then I drank it and actually like I
Yeah.
think it's my favorite milkshake IPA that maybe I've ever had. And you nailed it yesterday when you were describing why it is good, which is that it's not overly milkshakey,
Yep.
and it's not overly IPA. It's just kind of right in the middle.
It's enough of both.
So a lot of times you have these milkshake IPAs and they're like overly sweet and round, like they're too smooth.
Yeah.
This is not too smooth. It has carbonation to it. It's a great job.
Yeah, I saw them post this. I think they posted it on Instagram, and I didn't buy it, which I'm just like
You gotta buy this.
I have a hard time buying beer through Instagram because I just want them to sell it through BeerBroadcast, but that's not true. But I was happy you had it because I recognized the label immediately from when they released it, and I got to try it yesterday, and it really is like it's they put a really good beer inside of a really like nice
Great can.
Yeah, like it's if the label for some reason didn't sell it, the beer does. They did a good job, and they didn't they didn't put like a bad beer inside of a good label. So
Clerks 2 is the movie where like it was the first movie they went kind of super overboard on like introducing movies as a brand. Like they really pushed like like they had a lot of time inside of the restaurant. They had a lot of time like introducing that character who is the other person that was like working there. It was like the first movie that really kind of revolved around a movies, because the premise of Clerks 2 is that they left the Quick Stop and now they work at movies.
Okay.
I think that's the idea.
I mean, it's pretty good branding. It's very good branding, actually. Like, that's
yeah. No,
I
they did a
could see
very
why.
good job.
Why they would push that. Okay, we're running out of time.
Yeah,
I want
this is great.
more of that.
It's so good.
If you get more of that.
Ming, did you have one of these?
No.
Yeah, I'll try to bring one next time so you can have it.
Bring one for me too.
No.
Okay. That's so mean. Christian was right. I'm drinking a Tom's River Brewing Coastal Kolsch style ale, 4.7 ABV. Obviously based in Tom's River, New Jersey.
On the platform.
On the platform. I don't think they've done a release yet.
They did, actually.
Oh, they did?
So they did a bunch of releases. Unfortunately, they like backdated the releases.
Oh,
so
it
they
didn't
came
get-
out in the past, so they didn't send notifications.
Okay.
But we've reached out to them and tried to fix that.
Okay.
But they are on the platform, and they are they're selling stuff, which is
Awesome.
great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I've had it before. It's in my fridge. Been in my fridge for a little while. I pull one out every once in a while, and yeah, wanted to bring them back on the show because I really like it. So okay, last topic before
I
we
was
end
born
the show.
there.
Tom's River.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's not a big deal.
I mean, do you want to talk about it?
No.
All right.
It's fine. I try not to talk about it.
You just did.
Some shit happened.
I want to hear it.
No.
Fine. So, last topic before we end the show. I told you I gave you a little snippet of this outside.
Yeah.
I wanted to pose the question of, since you love talking about time travelers, if you were to go back in time, now let's say you're going back like just before computers hit it big, and you know that's a big thing. Yeah, I know. It's I'm gonna kind of corner.
Do
you
I have?
a bit.
Okay, go ahead. I have so many questions already.
You don't have anything with you except for the clothes that you're wearing.
Do I have a prep period?
No.
Do I know I'm going back in time?
No.
I'm just boom back in time.
Yes.
Okay.
But you're given a list of tasks. The first task is
Tasks. What is this?
It's
a job or is this time travel?
well, none of this is practical. Like this isn't
Okay.
actually like real world stuff. We're talking about time travel first of all. As much as I want that to be true,
Okay.
let's just assume it's not because
All right.
so you're back in time. You can't use the skills that you have like with programming or anything like that.
Why?
Because I want this to be interesting.
Okay.
I mean, you can, but computers don't exist in this scenario. So you go back in time. Everything you know is you still have all the knowledge you have from when you came from the future.
Yeah.
But when you get there, the first thing you have to do is prove to everybody that you're from the future. My question for you, related to that, is how do you prove that you're from the future without sounding like you're crazy? And then the second part, I think, which is more of like the obvious.
When am I dropped into?
Let's say you're dropped into like 1950. All right.
If you just picked a different year. If you picked like 1985, I'd be like,
No.
the Mets are going to win the World Series.
No.
And even that wouldn't prove it because they'd just be like, there's only two teams.
Yeah.
Pretty lame.
You're one of many with that prediction. So, okay. So the first thing, how do you prove that you're from the future? And the second, what do you use from that time to become as wealthy as possible? And like, how do you change the past so that when you come back,
You know, in Outlander, they kind of do this. They go back in time, and she's got like all kinds of. She's like, well, medicine is a good way to like stop your bleeding, and
Okay.
they're just like, which, like,
Well, the reason that this idea came to be was from last episode. You were talking about the hot tub, and since then you and I have talked about your hot tub, and so naturally I thought of hot tub time machine. Let's ignore all of like the things where actually they do a good job because they come back as themselves in that time.
they see themselves.
So
yeah.
they can't like bump into themselves and like mess up their own future. I guess they could like act differently and mess up their own future. But like
They come back as young them.
yeah.
Yeah.
They come back as like they take over their bodies from that time and like they relive that time versus Back to the Future. It's like Marty could
He could have sex with his mom. You can say it.
No, I was gonna say
That's like the plot
I
of the
wasn't
movie.
gonna say that. That you're right though. Anyway, so let's keep it simple, and ask questions along the way. But you're back in the 1950s. You have to tell people how, you have a very short amount of time to figure this out. Explain to people, prove to them that you're from the future, and what do you do to become very wealthy by the time that you return.
Wait, can I carry the money back with me?
No, but you could like influence things in the 1950s, and when you come back as yourself,
Okay.
you're
Okay.
like you've like invented the whatever.
Okay, so the way I prove that I'm from the future is I don't, because I don't want people to know I'm from the future. What I want them to know is that I'm a super, super smart person,
Okay.
and that's how I'm going to make my money. So the way that I make my money is that we're about the time where like automobiles are they're taking off, but they haven't like fully taken off.
Okay.
You know, so I don't know a lot about cars and how they work. So although I know a decent
We're
amount,
talking about the 50s.
yeah. So the cars exist, but hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. So I don't know a ton about how cars work, but what I do know is that cars took a lot of major leaps around the times of the 50s.
Okay.
So I don't think like cars, for example, had lap shoulder seatbelts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that cars had an airbag. I don't think that cars had like most of the things that have changed in cars since the 50s are actually just like safety things.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
maybe spend some time like working on those things. Go in and just be like, here's a bunch of ideas. I think ideas is basically that's my approach.
Okay.
Is I would just go into every industry and I'd be like, you know, you're attaching these table components. Have you thought about like trying to drill on the side and put dowels in there to make it stay straight?
And then
you-
what do you patent these things and make?
Yeah,
money
just
every
keep
time?
patenting stuff and like
All right.
yeah. I mean, like there's a decent case that like great inventors were time travelers, right? I don't know.
I mean, that's if you're looking back on it and you're saying that, it's easy to maybe assume that, but it's like look at great inventors of today with technology. It's like, was Mark Zuckerberg from the future, or was he just some guy who had an interesting idea at the right time and he knew how to make it?
Time traveler.
All right. Well, I think reptilian, and I think most people agree with that. But
Reptilian.
yeah, he's not from this planet. Or what is he, like a center
Is
of the
it
earth?
frog people?
What are they
Or,
called? Mole people.
Mole people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's mole people.
That's why he's so.
Wait, no,
pale.
not mole people. That's the people that live in the subways.
Mm.
He's crab people.
What's that?
It's people that derive from crabs. It's from South Park.
Oh.
Crab people, crab people.
Great.
I think we're out of
I
time.
think we
here.
just ended the show. I think you just ended
Well,
the show.
This has been Good Not Great, episode 14. And we'll see you next week.